Dr. Tiffany Haynes a hand as she comes forward.
Dr. Haynes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Reverend Williams always makes me feel good because she says I look young. I think it's just this Fenty foundation I've been wearing, but she made me feel good. And so I am happy to be here with you guys today. And normally when I do this, I have PowerPoints because I'm from the college and that's how we do things. You know, you have a PowerPoint and you go through the lecture. And I really felt like y'all wasn't gonna be feeling that, especially since I just heard that y'all got midterms this week and it's Soul Food Wednesday, so you're really trying to get out and get some fried chicken. I got you. So I'm gonna talk, but I need y'all to talk with me. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Head nods from everybody. I need full crowd participation. Yeah. Otherwise, we're gonna pull out some slides because I got some. I promise you. All right. So let's say I was walking into the room and I fell down these steps. What would you do?
Pick you up.
You would help me up? What if I was falling down and it was obvious I wasn't going to be able to get up? Call 911.
Pick you up.
Pick me up, call 911. Anything else?
Ask me if I'm okay.
Ask me if I'm okay. Anything else? Somebody said pray. I'm glad that some people of faith pray for me. Anything else?
Make sure you don't need CPR.
Make sure I don't need CPR.
Make sure you didn't hit your head.
Make sure I didn't hit my head. You know the interesting thing? That if I fell down the steps, none of you said, I'm going to wait to see if you ask me for help. None of you said, I'm going to see if it's real, if you really hurt before I offer some help. The first thing you said was, I'm going to help her up. And if she can't get up, then I'm going to call for some help. Nobody was like, but I need to see if the bone is broken before I call 911. Nobody said that. Like, I'm going to help her, and I'm going to get her some help.
Are you all right?
Well, you can ask me, am I all right? But the very first thing everybody said was, I'm going to help her up. Now, what if I was sitting on a chair and I looked sad?
I'm going to ask you.
Are you okay?
You're going to ask me if I'm okay. If you know how when we walking past people and we say, hey, how you doing? What's the response we give? I'm good, I'm fine. And as we do that, do you stop and wait for somebody to answer you?
No.
You're like, I'm good, I'm fine. You good? You all right? All right, see you later. When we're passing, right? So if you ask me if I'm okay and I'm looking sad, what's the likelihood that I'm going to actually open up to you and say, no, I'm not okay?
You're not.
Small percentage. But do you remember all the suicides that happened over the summer? We had Kate Spade and the chef, who I'm blanking on his name, Anthony. Both of those were high-profile suicides. And I don't know, how many of y'all are on Facebook or Instagram or something? So I am a certified Facebook stalker. I just go on Facebook and look at stuff, and I don't really like your pictures. I don't say nothing to you. I just look. But I saw after that, so many people were saying, if you need me, call me. If any of my friends are struggling, call me. If any of my friends need me, I will be there for you. And I just wondered how many of their friends would actually say or reach out to them. So 2 years ago, I was with my family in Branson. We were having Thanksgiving there. That was our new tradition. We were going to go out and have Thanksgiving. We had an amazing Thanksgiving dinner. We went out, we saw Christmas lights, we sang Christmas carols. I know we early, we like Christmas. Right after Thanksgiving, we go into the Christmas season. Got home that night, we said, we're going to get up in the morning. The other thing that we do is we shop. So we talked all the men in our family into taking us shopping the next morning. We had purchased t-shirts, we were going to have a picture made, and then we were going to watch the Razorback game. So we had our weekend planned out. We went to bed, 1 o'clock that morning. My father called me on my phone because I was upstairs. He was downstairs. He said, do you have your asthma inhaler? I said, no, I don't. He said, well, your mom can't breathe. We're probably going to have to take her to the hospital. So, we got up, got ready to go. Because we were out, we were not in our normal places. We were out in a cabin in the woods. We decided, because we, in our mind, didn't know what was going on, that we could get her to the hospital faster than they could get to us. So we took off in our van. We got We didn't even get a mile away before she took one breath, she slumped over and she was unconscious. We immediately called 911. We took her out of the vehicle, put her on the side of the road, was doing CPR, but we all knew that she was gone. And so in the middle of the happiest time of our lives, we were celebrating family, we lose the big piece of our family. And now I'm a trained psychologist. So after this, what I do is I got my whole family help. Got my daddy in therapy, told my sister, get you some help, had everybody in help but me. I'm the only one that was like, I got this, I got my tools, I'm good. Went through Christmas, went through the next year, opening of the year, and I had a lot of people who would come to me and say, I'm praying for you. If you need me, let me know. I'm thinking about you. If you need me, reach out. And I realized the same way that everybody was saying, if you need me, reach out. And these people were saying, if you need me, reach out. I needed somebody and I didn't know how to reach out. I didn't feel comfortable enough reaching out to people to tell them, you know what? I may not be doing as well with this as I thought I was. But what I did have was a few people in my life who didn't care if I said I needed them. They busted down doors to get where I was. They did not let me, if I got my best friend, if she knows on certain days or anniversaries, if I don't call her or I don't answer her text, I know she's in her car from Dallas on her way to find me. So I know I have to answer her. I had friends who said, I had coworkers who, when I was struggling at work and not doing this, finishing things, they took it over for me. I don't even know some of the stuff that they did because I was barely making it and they took it over for me. They did not wait for me to say I needed them. They realized that I needed them and they stepped in. When we talk about mental health and we talk about mental illness and we talk about suicide, that doesn't start when somebody is in crisis. It starts way before them. When we come out and we make an atmosphere where it's okay for people to say to us, I'm not okay. And we make it okay to reach out. And not just saying you can reach out, but we actually put the work in to make it okay. So how many people in here have been stressed out, have felt anxious, and maybe have even felt down or depressed? Okay, so there's a lot of hands in here. How many of you felt like there's somebody in this room you could have talked to and reached out about what was going on? Fewer hands went up. So a lot more hands went up and said, I have felt some kind of way, depressed, sad, anxious, in something. Fewer hands went up and said, I felt like there was somebody who was in this room that I could talk to. So I want you to take a minute, talk to this person next to you and say, what is it that we need here on our campus right now that would make it where everybody who was feeling sad, depressed, anxious, stressed out, felt comfortable enough reaching out to somebody on our campus? Can you take like 2 minutes to do that?
I feel like at first it can be like anonymous. The bus, the student center just like if it's like the next show we can talk about it. It doesn't have to be but if it's serious, of course, you can take it to the next level and be like, well, this is
One minute.
I feel like if you say you're going to be true, have something to
Okay. So I saw some animated conversation going on, and I just can't wait to hear what do you need right here so that people feel more comfortable. Right, you are ready. You were like, when you said 1 minute, I wanted to jump up. Okay, what you got?
Hello guys, most of you know me, I'm Sergio. We're talking with our group. We decided that we probably need a club or a group. Like they have the alcoholic or drug group where you go and talk about your problems and stuff like that. Most of the time I see is that we don't really come forward because we're shy. We think people are going to laugh, people are going to talk about it. But in reality, if you're in a confident group with a family, like family atmosphere, and you get to start sharing your problems. You got people that are supporting you, being like, it's okay. Once you see other people have problems, you know you're not the only one. Not only that, you also see that people's problems are not as big as your problems. So you're like, oh, my problem's not even big. I can take care of it, you know? Because people have worse stuff than other people, you know? And I think this will be something that could help out in this case.
Yeah.
Excellent suggestion. So having some support on campus where people can come and talk and say, I'm experiencing this, and we can work together and think about what to do. So support on campus. What else? Hand in the back.
Hi, Dr. Haynes, I'm one of the student success coaches.
Okay.
Some of the students that I talked to said that what they believe would help is if we had a therapeutic area, somewhere where we kind of sit down and chill, that kind of help them calm down. And then I also heard prayer. They feel like group prayer would help because they believe in God and spiritually based.
Great suggestion. So prayer, always pray. Just when you get up and you say amen, have something that you're going to do after that prayer. And then you said a meditation area. Do you know Google has nap areas in their corporate office? We the only ones sitting around here with no nap areas. Google makes billions of dollars, and they employees got a nap area. It's awesome. Meditation gardens and things like that. A place where you just sit down and relax. Excellent ideas. I saw a hand, I think, right here. Yes, ma'am.
I think it starts with the person. Like if people start putting in their mind to think about others, stop coming to school and worrying about what people got on, what people are doing, what the teachers aren't doing, like just different things, and start thinking about we all black. I mean, literally, we're all black, Mexican, you know, like she said, rural, like, so literally everybody knows that everybody goes through things. And instead of coming to school and focusing on whatever else, you know, think about all the people that's coming and struggling to just make it to school, or what happened before school started. And just be considerate, because those groups, nobody's going to want to join those groups if they're not even comfortable around the peers that they are dealing with every single day.
Absolutely. So how do we do what she's talking about when we're being considerate? That goes even back to when we say, hey, how you doing? And stopping and giving people a smile and saying, I'm so glad that you're here. And those type of things, and really meaning it. So being able to create an atmosphere where we're showing that love and unity that you spoke about in your faith statement, we're actually demonstrating it actively on a daily basis. Thank you for that. There's a hand over here.
A lot of times, a lot of us are not able to either speak out about whatever we're necessarily going through. So, me personally, sometimes I'm not able to necessarily speak out about necessarily what I'm going through, stress, finances, or whatever else. So, what she was just saying about the groups, what he was saying about the groups or whatever, and what she just said, also, it all comes together.
So that's making us realize that we need more than one situation, right? Because not everybody, some people don't do well with the groups, but not everybody's going to feel comfortable with the groups because of what you mentioned, and what you mentioned, that they're not always ready to speak out.
Some people aren't comfortable speaking out because they feel like if they do speak out, the wrong person will take that information and run with it. That's why I'm not very open with a lot of people. I am open to a certain individual, but I don't really just trust people like that because I don't know if they're going to run with it and tell somebody else, and then they get out and then now everybody know my business.
So, you know, that's that good black girl magic mentality we got. And we know the game, right? So not everybody's on your side. Not everybody's going to keep your secrets, and you have to be aware of that. So building an environment where people are comfortable includes building an environment where we trust each other.
Yes, ma'am. Having a counselor to come over here, like a volunteer counselor, to come over here and talk to the peers that are mentally struggling with their illnesses, because I'm aware that it's a lot of us here. So just having a volunteer counselor come over to the campus like once a week, twice a week, and you know, have peers to go and talk and speak with them.
So getting a professional here for you to talk to would help people be more comfortable. Because if I'm not willing to talk in a group yet, I may be willing to talk one-on-one with a professional who has rules and ethics and laws binding them that they cannot tell my business anywhere.
Right.
And it stays within them.
and be able to give us insight. Like I called to try to go to counseling, called my primary care, because they told me I needed a referral. The lady never called me back. I've been trying to get counseling for like months now. Like I keep getting the runaround. But I'm not too familiarized with Arkansas and how everything works. And every time I call, it's like I get pushed away. You know, so it just comes to a point to where I don't really know who to go to be able who accepts Medicaid. I don't have money to be able to pay somebody every session. So if we could do something like that, that would be great.
So then you should know about Arkansas, and I'm so sorry for your experience. And I wish I could say like, oh, that's just your experience. In Arkansas, we don't have enough services for everybody, and so often what happens is people get through the cracks. People who want to get help can't get in because of things like people are not calling them back. But talk to me afterwards. Let me get your information. Let me see if I can help you get set up. Okay? Can't make any promises because that's what we're working with in Arkansas. But I can make some calls and see if we can get somebody who accepts Medicaid. Also, you may be aware, Medicaid laws are changing in Arkansas to where mental health coverage will not be reimbursed at the same rate. So when they mention voting impacts your mental health too. Okay, so just remember that our service is already low, and the more that we cut down on that, the more likely it is that people fall in the cracks. So we can get somebody here who's here, that you don't have to call anybody, that you don't have to go anywhere. They're on campus, and you can go and you can see them. That'd be cool. Anything else? Y'all over here been real quiet. And I'm gonna let you be quiet. I ain't gonna push it, but I just want to open up in case you have something you want to share.
We're just listening.
Okay. Anything else? So you guys came up with a lot of good ideas. What can you do to get some of that going on your campus?
Get it started.
So we have success coaches here, and we have 2 or 3 faculty, staff members, and we will make sure that is written down and get to the proper people.
And then if I can also tag along to that, there's actually already a plan in place. The success office has already started. We've already began making a couple of steps towards getting students mental health and having someone that they can talk to on a regular basis.
Look at that. Already going down. Somebody was praying for that this morning, and they already got a plan in place. Look at that. I love when plans are already working towards mental health. So now Shorter is already doing some stuff. What can we do individually? What can we do differently? We just heard some of the concerns about mental health and how we can make people feel comfortable. And some of these don't take the success coaches doing something or the faculty and staff. Some of it is us. What can we do differently?
I mean, sometimes you can reflect on yourself to figure out what's the issue you're having yourself. Because me, they said I needed help, but I refused it. But I kind of did, but I was savage because I lost my mom at 9, and then 2 weeks later, I lost my mom at 9. My dad said he didn't want me. Kicked me off his porch. Then I went to live with his grandmother, and she died 2 weeks after my mother. And I turned to the streets. I was a straight savage, and then I realized where it was coming from, and I kind of straightened up.
So that's a great story that you straightened up by yourself. Not everybody is able to do that. So I am glad that you were able to reflect and see some changes you can make. But when we see that, do you know that Arkansas is one of the top 3 in the state for traumatic experiences during childhood? We're like number 3 out of all the states that we have. Our kids that live here have multiple traumatic events like that, like losing people, like not having somewhere to go. And that causes a host of mental health issues. So yeah, so that's going on. So being able to think about that and be able to reflect on how that impacts where you are right now is very important. What else can we do? Oh, she ain't.
Oh, well, I can say this. Since I've been here, like any personal issues that I have had, my success coach, I did go to my success coach and they did help me. And I don't want to leave that out because they did, other than the person that I, talked to. They have helped me with my personal, issues because I do want to make that clear. Like I was going through something, with my mom and, pretty much all 3 of them pretty much gave me pointers on how I can deal with that situation. So I don't want to do that.
You are success coaches again. So one thing that we can do individually is we can make sure that other students on this campus know about our success coaches, that they know about the things that they offer, so that we're not in the dark and we're thinking we don't have resources on this campus, and we do. So one thing is to raise awareness that it's okay for you not to be okay, and if you're not okay, here's the first place that you can go here. Reverend Williams, you had me?
So also being a really spiritual person, even though you're really, really spiritual, things happen in your life as well. Now, most of you know, or all of you know, that I'm a minister, actually a presiding elder in the African Methodist Episcopal Church, which is one of the higher offices. But probably 3 years ago, I'm the oldest of 9, and my sister passed away that was right underneath me. And so my other sisters and brothers pretty much handled it pretty good, but I myself, late at night, I would wake up screaming, and seems like my head was gonna just blow off, and I didn't know what to think about that. My husband took me to the hospital a couple of nights, and I'm still experiencing this, I don't know what's wrong with me. And I go to the doctor, and they don't find anything. When I actually go to the hospitals, they don't really find anything. And finally, a friend of mine, who is another minister, and I'm thinking I've got it all together because I'm a minister. I pray to God, I talk to God, and I do things, that I try to do things for people to help them. But here I am, I didn't think I needed any help. And so what happened is that one of my friends, as we were on a church trip, for the church, said to me, "Mary, I'm going to tell you this." He says, "You are having some anxiety problems. You need to go and check on it." So I brushed him off, and he didn't mention it anymore. He said, "I'm not going to mention it anymore until you find out for yourself." So I know it was another 5 or 6 months that I suffered and screamed out loud, and finally I went to my private doctor, and I shared with him what had happened to me and told him about my sister. I really didn't realize that I was as close to my sister as I was. We were like running buddies. We grew up together. She was like my stair step. And when I came to the conclusion that it was my sister's death that had me in the position I was in, and even though I prayed to God and talked to God, and there was still seemed to be no kind of relief. But I had to go to the doctor, and he recommended medicine that ordinarily I would not take because it was mental medicine, all right? I can't remember the name of it, but I ended up taking that medicine for about 6 months. And with that, I was able to sleep at night, because I couldn't sleep at night. I stayed awake all night long. And I was working here, trying to help people that were here, students that were here, but still I was going through this traumatic experience. So I'm just saying that, no matter how close you are to God, or no matter what the situation is, talk to your friend or try to get help, or recognize, as the young man said up in the audience, recognize what's going on with you, what has happened, and then see if you can kind of pick it up from there. But there are some real things out here, and we've got to recognize that mental illness is real, and that there are people who can help us. And so I wanted to share my story with you.
And what Reverend Williams just did is another thing that we can do, is share our story so that people can know and hear and understand that it is real. They put a face with it. Because I'm sure Reverend Williams was walking around here fly, looking good, and nobody knew how she was struggling. And now that she's opened up, she's helped somebody out here who has been struggling, now knows it's okay to go and take the medication, and it's okay to use all the tools that God has given us to be better. You have
Another thing we can do as us individually is, come on now, we grown. It's time to stop being messy. If somebody come to you and say, "Hey, I got a problem," and I talk to you about it, it's not your place to open your mouth and repeat what they have told you. You have to stand up as an adult and say, "Okay, if I'm gonna talk to this person, this is between me and that person." Nobody should know our conversation unless we both agree it's time to tell somebody else.
And that goes along with that trust, right? So because we know there's messy people out here, and we don't want messy people getting our stuff because they ruthless and they reckless out in these streets, and they will like cause some issues. But if we can all say, I'm not gonna be team no messy, I'm not gonna be messy with you right now. I like to be a little bit petty, but I try not to be messy. So, you have to figure out what that line is gonna be with you. But if somebody comes to you and they need you, being willing to say, I can be your safe place. I can be the person that you can talk to. And if it's more than I can handle, I'm gonna get you connected to some people here who can help you even more than that. Anything else? So I think I'm out of time, and I know that there's fried chicken coming up. So I do just want to just reiterate again for you how important it is to not wait until there's a crisis to start thinking about your mental health. To start early thinking about your mental health. And to be open and really talking about it. If I didn't have people who sat me down and say, girl, you need to go get some counseling, I would still be walking around dealing with the depression that I was dealing with as a clinical psychologist. As a person who can see the signs in everyone else. And I ignore the signs in myself. So please, when you get up and you're eating your Soul Food Wednesday, think about how can I today think about my own mental health and do something that makes it more comfortable for other people to share about their mental illness. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys letting me come out.